What's up, everybody? Welcome to AEW Uncensored. I'm here with my man, Alan. We are the Bridge and Tunnel Connect, Nolan Hash, the Beast from the East, with the
least
research.
research.
So what's up, man? How's everything?
All right, what's up with you?
Same old shit. We ready to kick some ass today or get our asses
Yeah, man.
kicked? I mean,
Absolutely. Well, maybe a little bit of both.
yeah. We're still mid-card. so,
Not in Germany. We're not mid-card in Germany.
Yes, actually, in Germany, we are like top 10 of all wrestling podcasts. So, you know, that's impressive.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Germany. Thanks for the support. We love you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's start this out. Please like, share, and subscribe. You know how it goes. Hit the bell. All the algorithms, blah blah blah. Smash the subscribe and thumb button, please. Smash. Uncensoredalliance.com. You catch everything we do there. All the links to all this shit. On Twitter, AEW Uncensored, one word, no spaces. Email us, AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. Love mail, hate mail, comments, questions, whatever the fuck you want to say. Just send us an email. I see shout out to Simon. God bless you.
Thank you. First sneeze live on the air.
Shout out to Simon, who's joining us for the first time live. He emailed me, Simon, we got the email. I will respond to you. I apologize. Holiday weeks and stuff over here, so things been a little hectic.
Yeah, welcome, Simon.
So again, email us anything you want. As far as Facebook, we are AEW Uncensored Podcast. We have a page and a group. Just search it in the search bar. Like the page, join the group. Hit us on Skype as always. Links in the description of the podcast audio version and currently in the live stream on YouTube. As far as the audio version, you can get us on all podcast apps, third party or otherwise. Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeart Radio, and of course iTunes. Please, if you have an iTunes account, go rate us and review us. That's huge for us. That'll get us some spots possibly on iTunes. The hotter they see a podcast is, the more they will promote it on their pages, whatever the fuck however they do it. I don't even know. But you get what we're saying. So that's pretty much it. I don't think I missed anything. Knowing me, I probably did because I was trying to do a lot less ums and I don't knows. So, but
well, it's early.
Yeah, it's early. You're right. That's my crutch. It's hard to get rid of that crutch when you hurt. So, anyway, let's get to the show now. All the promotion shit out of the way. You guys know where to go. We got all that shit in the links in the description. So, thank you for all that do this stuff and all that we do hear from. We love it. And of course, the AEW Uncensored fam in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Simon says Uncensored live from the Berlin Wall, Hasselhoff style. Oh man, yeah. Eddie says they're like David Hasselhoff.
What's up, Eddie?
What's up, Eddie? All right, man. So we could just start off a couple miscellaneous, two miscellaneous things. Bronson Ricksteiner, which is Scott's Rick Steiner's son, he what did he do? He didn't get drafted, but then he got a tryout with some team in the NFL. They cut him. He walked, or whatever the fuck it is. I forget. I read it the other day. I can't remember, but he was with the team. He got picked up. He wasn't drafted. He got picked up and signed, but then they dropped him. So he took a tryout with WWF, WWE, whatever, and I'm hoping that AEW swoops in and just says, fuck it, we're just going to take him on and gets him away. He looks good looking kid, you know what I mean? Like, looks like he could be a star. Obviously, the pedigree is there. Scott Steiner, Rick Steiner, both fucking beasts. Great wrestlers. So I'm hoping that AEW kind of pulls a WWE and swoops in and pulls somebody that they had interest in, like they did to AEW. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
They'd have to move quickly, because we know how WWE operates, particularly with AAA. He's trying to snap up every single piece of talent there is.
Yeah.
So, especially knowing the pedigree, like you were saying, yeah, AEW hopefully will move quickly, to be able to grab him before WWE can. So, here's hoping.
Yeah. Jim Ross was high on him. You know, Jim had mentioned him a while back. That's how I even knew about him. I honestly didn't even know he wrestled. I didn't even know about him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So Jim Ross had said some things like, you know, AEW needs to come in and look at this kid and possibly take him under their wing. So we'll see. Future will tell. Time will tell.
Yep.
Something I'd be interested in. You know, a guy I'd be interested in having in AEW. Simon says, could do him versus Billy Gunn's son versus Taz's son. Yeah. All the second gens.
That's going to get funny, by the way, every time you go Simon Says.
Simon Says.
I'm going to be thinking of Hans Gruber's brother from Die Hard 3. Simon Says, go rob this bank.
Simon might end up on one of our T-shirts down the line.
Yeah.
What did he say? Versus Perfect Son versus Bulldogs. Hey, relax, guys. Calm down.
Actually, throw the Sons in there.
Actually, Bulldog's kid, what's his name? Davey Boy? It's Davey Boy, right? He goes by Davey Boy?
So. Yeah. That's right.
I think his contract is coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, too. Yep.
So you never know. He might end up in AEW.
Yeah.
You know, everybody hates when you start talking about AEW getting people. So if you're listening and you hate that we're talking about hoping AEW gets people, fuck off. It's that, or it's when you got people that you think would help AEW or be a good fit in AEW. Of course you want them, you know.
Yep.
You let them go to WWF, and then basically their career, they're going to give them like a 5-year deal. So the next time you'll be able to see them outside of WWF possibly will be in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know that they're going to drop 3-year deals or what, but even 3 years, it's like, you know, AEW will be obviously be in a better position in 3 years, 5 years, but you know, it is what it is.
But also depending on the age of some of these guys, by the time their contracts run out, they're going to go past their peak. And
Davey Boy's been around a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is, but he has been here for a bit.
Yeah. I remember hearing about him and like fucking Natalia and all them early on. And apparently there was a lot of problems. You know, there was some problems, and it's one of the reasons they're not with WWE from what I recall. I may be wrong, but I know it was like Teddy Hart. It was all them. It was like the whole Hart Foundation family, you know?
Yeah. Natalia's still there, but outside of that, it's pretty barren as far as the Harts go.
Yeah. Simon says, did anybody see the picture of JR and Jerry Lawler at the Jags game? Lawler AEW confirmed. Yeah, it's fun. I just saw that picture probably like 15 minutes before we started.
Yeah.
So one thing that we kind of talk about a lot on here that really kind of pisses us off and annoys us about AEW is them doing segments either back to back in the middle of a show or similar segments back to back. I shouldn't have said segments back to back because it's part of the show, but they do similar segments back to back or a couple times throughout the show. Like you'll have a heavy blood spot, and then the next match will have a heavy blood spot, and you have, you know, a table, just stupid things, you know, table thing, you know, like a stipulation match back to back with another stipulation match. So they have this tendency to do this stuff where they don't think about it before they do it. And Jericho actually was on Keep It 100, and he had an issue with this, with the segment they did with MJF joining Inner Circle. Right after that, I forget, he said during the town hall. He thought it was during the town hall when he was speaking. So he said during the town hall, it was all about joining. And then the next segment is Taz talking about Will Hobbs joining Team Taz. So similar, both using the same style. You know, they're both looking to have someone join one way or another. And again, duplicating things almost back to back, or if not back to back. So,
and there are times where it also doesn't necessarily happen back to back. We're going
right.
to talk about this when we get into Dynamite tonight now. It's like how many hey come join us segments that are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
How many hey come join us storylines that are going to be. It gets old, and just because you're using different groups with different wrestlers, it doesn't make it any less old. It's there's too much of it.
Right.
There's way too much of it, and I'm glad that Jericho is acknowledging it. I mean, obviously having it back to back makes it stand out even more in a bad way.
And they've done that. They've done back to. If I'm not, I listen. My memory is shit, but just vague memory back to back has happened pretty frequently.
Yes.
With similar segments. So.
Yes.
That's it. I just caught that.
I mean, I hope that, Tony Khan seems to think a lot of Jericho. He basically lets him do whatever the hell he wants. I really do hope that is going to be a wake-up call to him to be thinking about, see, here's the thing. And again, I'm going to go into this from the business that I am in. You need a better editor for this show. There needs to be an editor who is focused not just on storylines, but on general continuity and on making sure that nothing is getting repeated, making sure that everything feels a little bit unique. I feel like they either don't have an editor, or if they have an editor, quite frankly, the editor sucks balls. That's my personal opinion. I am saying that as somebody who looks at story content for a living. It is something that is very, very noticeable. And it's something that has been a problem of theirs for a long time. When you finally have one of your marquee players coming out and saying that it's a problem, rings a lot of bells and shoots off a lot of whistles. And it really, I hope, needs to be a wake-up call that they got to find a better editor. They got to really figure out a way to make everything feel more unique in and of itself for this show.
Well, I mean, I felt they'd done a good job keeping continuity, but I think in an editor style role, there should be someone that hits those points. Like, hey, listen, here's the show mapped out. Why are we doing X and X? We should be doing X, Y, Z.
Right. Right. Yep.
In terms of continuity, I think they do a pretty good job of keeping things linear or being able to circle back on things and recall things. Even when you think they almost forget something, they come back like a month and a half later and you're like, oh shit, they didn't forget about it, As much as you would prefer there's something in the middle of all that, they still do kind of remember it. But I'm with you on in terms of the week-to-week show, having an editor of like, hey, we can do this, but we have to do it next week or the week. You know what I mean?
Right, because we just did it last week, or we just did it last segment, or whatever.
Right,
exactly.
Or these are back to back, so we have to cut this and bring this into next week. So
yeah, and sorry, I should be clear. Continuity has different meanings. There's the continuity that you are describing right then and there. You're right in terms of remembering storyline, remembering the universe that you're in. But continuity is also multi-layered, and it does have to do with the content and how similar or how different it is. So there are two layers of continuity. The one you're talking about, you're right, they do a good job with.
Yeah.
But they don't do a good job with making sure that they're looking at the entire story as a whole and picking out which points are too similar, what needs to be more dissimilar, and just what needs to make everything else feel unique. And again, just in the show we're about to review alone, there's things that they do that they've done before. And they just keep hammering it, and they try to hammer it a different way. They may have say, oh, well, this time let's take this, peg, take it out of this puzzle, put it into this peg, and maybe now that's going to feel a little bit different. And it doesn't. It just makes you think, oh, we're doing this again.
Right. Now, something we missed last week with I think we were kind of joking about it. Literally right after the show. Wasn't it right after the show last week we realized the whole Karrion and Brandy arm breaking segment was... I think it was... We stopped and I just happened to see something, and in our chat, we just kind of started talking about it because I had seen that there was a video with a Brandy update on her condition, and I didn't. It was a social exclusive, so I didn't bother listening to it. I was just like, all right, they're just gonna give an update on her. Obviously, they're playing a reason she's gonna be hurt, whatever. Turns out that I should have listened because the storyline is basically being used because she actually is injured and did she have surgery, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, and it's funny because I was trying to figure out. She just had a shot of Brandy episode with what's his face?
Sammy.
Thank you, with Sammy, and I couldn't tell whether or not she was hurt at that point. Was that pre-tape? Was it happened beforehand? Because she looks fine.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not exactly clear as to whether or not she actually already did have surgery or not. Yeah, so Simon just said, in fact, right here, yeah, her arm was fine on Shot of Brandy this week. Right, so I don't know when that was filmed. I don't know how the Shot of Brandy episodes work. I don't know whether or not they're done, how far in advance they're taped, or how that works. But yeah, she looked fine on that. So I don't know.
I mean,
it's hard to say.
Listen, just because her arm's hurt doesn't mean she doesn't look fine. She was obviously fine before that. They just needed a reason for her to go out and get the surgery. So it's like anything. People are injured. You can't really tell from the outside, but they do need surgery or whatnot. Knee, arm, shoulder, whatever the fuck. So that's probably the case. She was in a sling on something. Was it this week? If I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think she had a little promo or something. So,
I mean, with all due respect, and yes, this is going to be a joke, and I really do wish her well, but it is funny that she hurts her arm considering, every time she throws a punch, she's going through a wall of molasses. She's like that Mike Tyson's punch out. It's like, how are you hurting yourself?
Yeah.
Everything she does is so telegraphed. How is she getting hurt?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Simon says she should have... You got that in my head now. Every time I see every time Simon speaks in the chat, I'm oh my God, you got it in my head. He goes, she should have put a kayfabe plaster on her arm for a shot of Brandy to ham it up. Yeah. Well, I probably if it was a wrist thing, it would have been better, or an elbow. Yeah. But it's a shoulder. It's hard to go that high with it. So, but it's just funny that we were literally talking about the segment with Cargill and her, and it turns out if I had just fucking watched that video, I probably would have had a better idea of what was going on, that she was legit hurt. So, and she was going out for surgery because of it.
But yeah, we wish her well.
I left that awkward pause there. I wanted to see how long before you took my cue, buddy.
Well, I mean, I think that's pretty much what we've got on the miscellaneous side.
Yeah.
As far as dark...
Oh shit! Shout out to Paul. We got a new guy in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Paul?
What's up, Paul? He says Kenny Omega has been working through a torn labrum. Yup, this whole year.
Yeah, but he actually punches in normal speed or high speed. That's the difference. With him, I can forgive it.
Yeah, he's not the wall molasses.
He's not the wall molasses.
Yeah, I was a little concerned when he said that, but he said he's been working through that and working it with what the fuck you call that? I don't know. With the doctor, what do you call that?
Physical therapy.
Jesus Christmas. He said.
Well, yeah, I mean, a torn labrum. That's the thing. A torn labrum is the kind of injury where you don't necessarily have to get surgery on it. You can work through it. You can build it up with physical therapy.
Right.
The problem with it is that eventually it is something he will want to get surgery for, because even if he builds it back up, it's something that if there is a tear there, he's going to just keep injuring it, unfortunately. So there will have to be a point where he probably has to get it taken care of. But no, I mean, shout out to him that he's been able to work through it for the whole year.
Yeah. And guess who's in the fucking chat? Kenny, baby, the ambassador.
What's up, Kenny?
What up, Kenny? The chat ambassador, AEW family ambassador. Let me see. What did Simon say? Simon
is Brandy
says
more telegraphed than Allie?
Allie is fucking good. She is way less telegraphed. If you got to go back and check those tag matches they had, because we talk about it every week. They're fucking wasting Allie I'm
Right.
good.
I was gonna say I had that in my notes. It's like, where the fuck is she as
Right.
far as being
A
the force of the
wrestler.
ring? They're not
Right.
doing anything with her.
I think she's fine in the role she's in, but they need to pluck her as a wrestler as
Right.
well. Let her be with the group, but also be a wrestler for the group in the
Right.
representing the females, because she's a woman who, when I watch her wrestle, I feel like she feel just watching her. I feel like the shit is real. But I feel like she's really laying her shit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks like she's going hard. She's not slowing up. That's why when Allen came up with the wall of molasses, it's like Brandy starts off with the strike, but then she just hits a wall and slowly goes into the other person's body. That's where the wall of molasses comes in. The wall just slows her down, and she doesn't. It's like she's afraid to lay something in to hurt someone or hit someone physically, but it's like then it doesn't look legit. So that's kind of where the wall of molasses came in. Um, that's basically what it is. It's just telegraphing shit, or in terms of just the speed of movement and the impact and all that stuff. So I think Brandy's so bad at it. A lot of the women are bad at this is the problem with the women's division, is they are bad with the choreographed nature of wrestling.
Right.
They literally set it up. It's it's more Cirque du Soleil than it is wrestling. Wrestling,
Yep.
while it's fake, it's meant to look real. Where Cirque du Soleil, they can sit there and set it up, and you're waiting for them to set it up because that's what they do. And then when they get into their routine, it's almost like, hey, let's set it up like Cirque du Soleil, and then we'll get into our routine. You know what I mean? Instead of just being in a routine, a
I'm probably gonna.
routine.
I might date myself, but did you watch? Are you too young to remember? Did you watch The Bionic Woman as a kid?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't remember as much as I remember $6 Million Man, though.
So every time, and I think $6 Million Man was the same way, but certainly Bionic Woman, every time she was fighting, like everything she would do when she was doing a bionic move was in slow motion, and had the sound effect. It's like, that's what that reminds me of too, as far as what they do.
Right. There you go. Call it a Bionic Woman.
Yeah.
All right, what they say? What they got in the chat here? Even in TNA Impact, Ali was only good due to Rosemary, and that was Simon. Then Simon says, Sunday night with a beer in hand, all's good, bro. Okay, so they were shouting each other out in the chat. All right, let's move on to Dark. Couple things.
I've only got a couple things for Dark.
I got a couple things. It's mostly not wrestling related. It's mostly just promos and shit.
Same exact. You and I may have the same things. I mean, the first thing I had here was that Jake Roberts promo with Lance Archer.
Okay, well, I had the Shawn Spears promo.
Okay,
so let me start then, because that's before Jake. Then you could do Jake and Archer.
Go
for me, I like the promo with Shawn Spears and fucking Tully. He mentions how Sky isn't willing to do what he has to do to win. And that almost plays into what we spoke about, where we thought Tully threw him the slug, and he looked at the slug, and he just threw it away. And we said, well, that might be an indication that eventually he might start doing things he needs to do to win and turn heel. This promo kind of gave me that same vibe, like a continuation of that feeling and where it's leading, for me anyway. Hinting that he's not willing to do what he has to do to win, and then eventually Sky's gonna do what he has to do to win, and maybe him and Spears get together, maybe not as a tag team but as a group, and they Shawn Spears is kind of the factor of why he decides he needs to do things a certain way to win.
Yeah, I mean, I should have had this one in my notes too, because it was a good promo. I kind of feel like this is not the first time that we've heard this, though, right? Like, this has been discussed before. They've been hinting toward this. This promo probably cemented it a bit, but yeah, like with what you're guessing is going to happen next, I feel like we've been talking about that for the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
That they're just slowly going in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Real quick,
so
let's go back to the chat because Paul brings up a great point. He says that was Britt's major problem, was she was very tentative in the ring, but her last few matches she was much more confident in her stuff. And we've been saying that since she's come back. Minus she's only had 2 matches since that, what the fuck match you call the theatric match? What do they call them again?
Oh, the cinematic
match, right?
In the
Jesus
dental
Christ.
office.
Right. She's only had 2 regular matches since then, and both have been very good. Now we were very I don't know about you, Alan, but I was very low. If you go back to early episodes, I was very low on Britt Baker in terms of her in-ring skills. I mean, if you listen to some of our early shows and you go back to the episode we speak about, she literally had moments where she rolls around the ring like a fucking fish out of water, like, because she got caught up in some move she missed, and I'm just like, what the fuck is she doing? She just made it worse. Now, like Paul said, I think she's way more confident. I think she really, when she turned heel with the promo work, I thought it was amazing. I thought all that shit was great, and I was like, holy fuck, if she could only get her ring style and ring work up to par, that'd be great. And so far, it's only 2 matches, so we can't get too crazy, but so far, she's done a really good fucking job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she's improved quite a bit. She did exactly what we hoped that she would do, is that she was doing work on her ring work, while she was on the shelf and as she was coming back. So, yeah.
And then Simon says, Tesha Price needs to be signed. I don't know Tesha Price, so I will take your word for it.
Yeah, she faced Red Velvet.
Did she? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looked pretty good. I thought for the most part she did a very good job in that match.
Man, sometimes I want to just watch some of these women matches just to see what kind of talent is on Dark that they could maybe bring in, but then I'm like, I just don't want to sit through a women's match, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not the biggest women's wrestling fan as it is. I only am a women's wrestling fan because of AEW, as I'm trying to support them. And they have been pretty rough, as everybody kind of knows and everybody talks about, so it's no surprise. But I do like when there's, some shining stars that kind of stick out. So
yeah.
So anyway, let's move to the next. You got something with this one. So Jake, set it off.
Yeah, this was great. So Jake comes out with Lance Archer, Murder Monster Lance Archer, that is, and Roberts says that he's been asked if he's a good guy or a bad guy, and I love his answers. He says, "I'm just an honest prick, plain and simple," and it sounds just like Jake Roberts. Jake, that's vintage Jake Roberts. And they're listing their accolades, both Archer and Jake. Obviously, I was marking out to this because, Roberts bring up a lot of his great WWF moments. He invented the DDT. He had a large python. He tied up Randy Savage with it, hooked him up with a 15-foot Cobra, which he called his favorite moment in the business.
Yeah, that was good.
For those who don't know the history behind that moment, I won't waste time here, but look it up. There's a really nice narrative, a really interesting narrative behind that whole segment with Jake Roberts and Macho Man Randy Savage, where Savage basically had to convince Roberts to do it, and he did not want to do it. It's a great thing to read about if you get a chance. And Archer was talking about dominating in Japan, throwing Marco's stunt into the first row. And Archer ended up by saying, "We dare anybody in AEW to come up and show me who you are." So I liked it. It was nice to see the two of them talk, and they're just laying out a challenge, saying who they are, saying they're here to kick some ass and take some names. And I found it very impressive. Every time I see Jake talk, first of all, I find it impressive.
Yeah.
So
and Archer's doing well. He's keeping up pretty well. I think that it was nice that they were like, hey, this is who we are, and now we want to see who you are. So that now gives them opponents that can say, now I want to face you because I'll let you know who the fuck I am, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's something going on with Kingston. We'll get that going later on. But yeah, I thought it was a solid promo.
Yeah.
Let's check the chat real quick. Simon says, also there's a rumor that Taya Valkyrie's contract runs out in Impact and she would be great for the women's AEW division. Yeah, I seen her wrestle in that one pay-per-view where all the WWE guys showed up. That first time they could all be on a different show. And did she wrestle for the title? Was it the title match?
I am
with
not certain.
That girl from Jersey.
Yeah,
It might have
I'm
been.
not
I
certain.
don't know, but I don't know. I wasn't impressed, and I've heard her name a lot in the past. But again, it's all for one match. So who the fuck am
Right.
I? Who am I to talk? I've only seen the one match, so maybe it just happened to be who she was working. Kenny says, is Tessa back with Impact, or what's the deal with her? She would be a good signing. I think Tessa's like one of them. She's on fire right now. She's like, you don't want to, you know. I think that's a bad analogy, but she's
Yeah, you don't want to touch her.
She's
I see what you're trying to
she's
say.
Toxic
She's toxic.
right now, you know?
Yeah, she is. I mean, TNA had to get her to mail them back the belt.
Right.
That's how they were just like, we just don't even just send us the belt.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm not saying I wouldn't like Tessa, but you know, I don't think AEW is ready to take on a fucking head case.
No.
Yeah.
And that women's division as it is hanging by a loose thread. They don't need someone like that.
Right.
Up in their faces. They just don't need
causing problems and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially considering everything you hear is that they have a pretty good locker room, you know, minus that whole Cody and some producer got, you know, whatever. I don't know if you heard that story, but
yeah.
It's just too winding to get into it. It's not, you know, people really want to. The guy who was the Dark Order. Fucking, how would you put him? The Dark Order loser who was on. Yeah, he was the, you know, he was a guy that was, you know, he's on the train and he's getting picked, bullied or whatever, and then he's on the internet looking for, you know, and he finds a Dark Order. That guy was doing some behind the scenes work. Apparently, Cody didn't want him around, and there was a whole thing went out on the internet. I'm sure most people listening already know about this. But if you want to find out about it, just go to Twitter, and I'm sure you'll find it. Or Google it. But just too much ins and outs to fucking worry about. It's not even, you know. I'm more interested in what's going on in the ring and a little less about that much in-depth crap behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We do get into behind-the-scenes stuff, but it just felt like so much shit, and he said, she said, and...
Yeah, it's a lot of drama.
You know. Too much to unpack.
Yeah, and Kenny says here that Tessa's daddy would calm her down. I got to tell you something. I think the exact opposite. I think that if she came over and her father was there, she'd be like, well, my daddy's here, so I could do whatever the hell I want. I kind of just feel like that's the way she is. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like that's her personality, that if she came to where her father's at, if anything, that might even give her more ammunition to say, I'm untouchable. I could do whatever the hell I want. But, you know, who knows? Who knows? I kind of think that you don't want there to be a situation where it's going to be nepotism with someone like her, who already is a very toxic personality. And then if you throw nepotism in the mix, I don't know, man. I think it's a bad combination.
I think it could go either way, because I was going to say that a little earlier, Kenny, but I think it could go either way. I don't know if it necessarily would be a great thing, a bad thing. Who knows? It just depends on what kind of sway she has from her father.
Yeah.
But still, it's kind of like something you don't want to throw into the mix. You don't want to throw a cherry cherry bomb in the toilet if you don't want the toilet to explode. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, at least not now. Maybe another year or so, or see what happens.
Yeah.
But apparently WWE isn't jumping up and down to get her either. So.
No, that says a lot, I think, honestly.
Yeah. So then we get Sammy gets a promo after his match with Marco Stunt. basically saying no one will outshine him. He's the best in AEW. Inside those ropes, nobody's better than him. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't amazing. It was a pretty good promo. A little less little kid sounding than some of his past stuff. I mean, that's kind of the only way I could describe it. He didn't feel believable sometimes. But I like the fact that they're just giving him the mic time to practice. Just putting him on the mic, letting him go out there, say what he's got to say. He got a little wordy at times, but I thought the overall tone and stuff was fairly good. I think that was his problem. Is his tone isn't. That's what I mean by sounds like a kid. His tone wasn't what you would want, from a heel. Even if he is a chicken shit heel or a cocky heel, his tone was still a little. He's got the mannerisms down well, but the voice, and he's got to kind of work that into the promos, and his I just like that they're giving the promo work. It's the same with Shida. I just like that they're giving her. Shida can't speak English well, but they're not shying away from giving her the work on the mic.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people who fucking aren't idiots will always be like, listen, man, she's fucking from Japan, and look how good she's speaking English. It's just, it's just they'll never get better unless you put them in front of that mic, and they have Dark to do that. So I liked it. I liked it for that. Before we get into the next one, which I know you want to get in on, we'll go to the chat. Simon says, due to the allegations of racism and how important the subject has been in 2020, I doubt that anyone will touch her. That's a possibility. We're trying not to touch base on this type of shit, but let's see. Paul says, under normal circumstances, Tessa would be perfect for AEW, but the heat she would put on herself is going to be hard for her to get past. You're right. 100% right. All right. So let's move on to the next segment. There was good, there was bad, there was ugly.
There was ugly in there too, yeah.
Yeah. So start it off, man. This is your baby.
Yeah. So we get what now is my favorite. Well, I thought it was my favorite segment of Dark is Britt Baker's Piper's Pit as we like to call it, as far as what she's doing.
Of the waiting room,
exactly. So, I was looking forward to this one because the fact that, we're big fans of Ty Conti. And first of all, I liked how it started off. She mispronounced her name when she came out. And, Ty was trying to correct her and she kept fucking it up. And I liked that quite a bit, that they were playing along with that. Because that was pretty funny that she just can't get it right. And this time, they actually had Ty on the guest couch.
That was what
we were saying last week. We were saying last week it made more sense to have the guest sitting on the couch.
Right.
I mean, obviously, yeah, it would be great. Britt could be behind, or if Reva could be behind the receptionist area, but then you can't. It's too much in one camera shot. So, but I actually liked the idea of having the guest on the waiting room couch.
Right. And when she sat down, I was like, oh, there we go. We just talked about this.
And it was a little confusing because the fact that with Ty, you're not really sure what she is. She's technically a heel. They have her facing babyface wrestlers, and she's obviously allied with the Dark Order and with Anna Jay. But she was definitely coming across as a babyface here.
Right.
Britt's trying to ask about her love life, and she doesn't want to say anything, and they're going back and forth with that.
Yeah. Since I don't want to get too ahead of this love life thing, but the fucking best part, all right, so out of nowhere, Reba, it sounds like a baseball hits a mitt when she gets that envelope. I don't know how because I didn't, and I rewound it because I rewound it because I'm like, how the fuck you heard? It might have hit the mic with a little bump.
Yeah.
But she might have had a mic on and it just had that little mic bump. So
yeah.
But I'm sitting there and I'm going, that thing looked like it came into her hand pretty hard, but I didn't see anybody pass it off to her. And then when it sounded like a ball hitting a mitt, I almost was like, did somebody throw that? And it's a fucking piece of paper. If you toss a piece of paper in an envelope at somebody, it's going to fucking fly all over the place. So I'm still curious how they did that. Maybe there was some kind of editing going on there, but I was like, what the fuck? But if you rewatch it, it literally sounded like somebody threw a baseball and it just hit the catcher's mitt. Boop, you know? And
it was funny.
It just landed in her hand like hard as hell. And then she opens that up, and that's how the questioning started about her love life. The best was like, we have a question from Tony S. in Georgia about if you have, a boyfriend. So, did you get it? Did you understand? Do you understand that? You don't get it, do you?
What do you mean? I mean, obviously he would want to date her, but what do you mean?
Tony S. from Georgia.
Oh, yes. Okay. Shivani, all right.
You didn't pick that up?
I did not get that.
Oh, my, bro.
Did not get that until you just brought it up.
Bro, I popped so hard when I was dying.
That is okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. That makes me enjoy it even more. I did not notice that. That is funny. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what led to the whole relationship shit, Yeah. And then, she didn't want to tell her. And then, of course, she hit the, so who are some of the ladies out there that you really like? And she's going over everybody. And she totally avoids Britt. And Britt's like, anybody else? And then she says someone else. And, they started getting, jaw jacking at each other. I thought that was funny. That part of the segment was done well.
Yes.
And then go ahead, take it from there.
Well, then it just gets shit down the toilet. It's like out of nowhere, Reba introduces the Acclaimed,
which is like, wait a minute, I thought Tay Conti was the fucking guest.
Right, she was the guest. She was the advertised guest. Where are these guys coming out of nowhere? And they just start doing a freestyle rap, and they're all doing along, and Ty just disappears.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm out.
Just disappears.
Yeah, they lost me there. I'd be good with the Acclaimed on as just the Acclaimed being on
as the guests.
You had a great thing going with the Ty Conti thing, and you kind of just fucking threw them in, and they didn't really do much but do a freestyle and dance around and shit, and
I mean, this is like if Piper's Pit had Junkyard Dog on, and he's the featured guest, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, here comes Hillbilly Jim doing a song and dance routine in the middle of the. It's like, what the fuck? Who are you? What are you doing here? So, anyway, it was a little bit of a mess. I did notice I was looking at the lineup for Dark for this Tuesday, and sadly, I did not see a segment advertised for this. But then again, I didn't see a segment advertised 2 weeks ago when it debuted. So maybe they just don't have it, and it will be on. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye out.
We'll see. So let's hit the chat real quick. Simon says they listened to us last week about sitting on the couch. Paul says, I think ultimately Anna Jay will turn on Ty for not being willing to join the Dark Order. Definite possibility. Simon says we would all want to date her. And then I respect Tony S. from Georgia for taking his shot. That's from Kenny. It's Kenny. And then Simon says, motherfucker, man. You had to put that in my head, bro.
I can't help it.
Oh, my God. I feel like Pharaoh Monch. Get the fuck up. Should we have some Godzilla music playing in the background? Dun, 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 dun. Simon says Shanna returns this week on Dark. She's superb. Yeah, I saw that. So that's cool. It's good to see her back. Cool. Where's she from this time? France, Portugal? I don't know where the fuck she's from. She started out from Portugal.
Would be funny if every week it's just going to be a different spot.
Yeah, Eddie, you still here, Eddie? You son of a bitch, or you just pop in to say hi and leave like always? But Eddie's like, oh, fucking Portuguese, because Eddie's Portuguese. Then all of a sudden I see she's coming out from France. I'm like, Eddie, your girl ain't even from Portugal no more, bro. She's now French, Funny, bro. Funny. All right, so then we get to... Okay, so at the beginning of the Acclaim match, I wanted to see it. I'm kind of feeling the walkout freestyle that they've been doing. Mm-hmm. More specifically, what's his name? What's the one that does the freestyle? What's his name?
You know what, man? I can't even tell them apart, to be honest with you. Least research and least caring when it comes to...
You can't tell them apart? They're literally...
No, I can't tell them apart in the sense that I can't remember which one is which name. is what it is.
Holy shit,
That's what I
bro.
mean. Not physically.
I'm like, dude, like one dude literally wears a hat and is like 2 feet taller than the other.
I literally can't tell what's named what. It's like Runabuck and Runabout for Transformers. I never know which is which.
Right,
it's
right.
Just...
I know exactly what you're talking about because it's like which one is which. It's
exactly.
Yeah, I do that a lot, especially in like shows and shit. I'm like, wait, is this one that one?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny, man. I can't even remember either one of their names, to be honest. Fuck. Anyway, maybe the guys in the chat will give us a heads up. There are research, but they gave they do the little freestyle before they wrestle, and the one line, the best line for me was like, "We leave bitches laying on their backs," and I fucking. Dude, I fucking popped hard. Number one, it's like you could look at it like women. You're leaving women. You know, they're yeah. You know, they got women. You know, the women love them. They they got them laying on their backs, looking up at the ceiling. You know, and that's basically what the whole thing was. It would leave bitches laying on their backs, looking up at the ceiling or whatever. And then it's also got the cross reference of wrestlers. They're whoever we wrestle is a bunch of bitches and. We leave them on their backs, taking the pin, looking up at the ceiling. So there's 2 ways to look at that line, and I liked it. I liked that factor.
Well, I would not be surprised whatsoever if Tony Khan has up to his ass in hate mail over that line.
Yeah, whatever, man.
You know the way it is today.
Fucking whatever.
Yeah.
You hear us talk, man. We don't fucking. We don't deal with cancel culture. That's the one thing I will say on this, for the world to know. Yep. Cancel culture and me don't get along. So if you don't like that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. If you don't like us for that, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you hear the way we talk. Curse. We act like idiots. We say stupid shit we shouldn't.
Yeah.
We got no malice. We love everybody. For real.
Yeah.
Max Caster. That's right. Jesus Christ, Anthony Bowens. He's the 5-tool guy. Like I just remember he has like his nickname. Anthony Bowens' nickname is the 5-tool player or 5-tool player or some shit like that. And I just can never click. It just never clicks with me. But yeah, Max Caster's a rapper, and I like it. I enjoy it. It takes me back to my PN News days. Yo baby, yo baby, yo, yo baby, yo baby. They would come out spitting some lines, I'm a big hip hop head, late 80s, early 90s, fucking, golden age of hip hop for me. But so I enjoy it. And he comes out sounding a little more old school, But anyway, so then we got Peter Avalon finally picks up a win. I think that's his first win. It is his first win versus Fuego del Sol, who is fun on BTE. But as you know, we don't like BTE being part of AEW itself. But he is fun on BTE. I don't know if you ever catch that ever.
You know what? Honestly, I tried watching it once. I couldn't stomach it.
No, all right.
It was too hokey for me. Just
right,
way
right.
too hokey.
It's got a lot of that, but there's some good stuff, and I think the Fuego del Sol shit is funny.
Yeah.
Actually, Fuego's more. He's been on BT, but I'm sorry, he's more on Sammy's vlog, if I'm not mistaken, because they're doing a thing with him. Excuse me, with him and QT, where QT's like, "Hey, what's up, Fuego? Yeah, I'm glad like he's all buddy with him." And then QT's this cocky son of a bitch as soon as he leaves, and it always gets back to Fuego. Like, why'd you say that last week? And it's really because Sammy acts like he's not recording. It's all the bit. He acts like he's not recording, but he's recording with his own phone.
Right.
So then, it catches QT going, fuck that guy. And they're like, yeah, fuck that guy. So I get a kick out of it. I think it's fun. I think it's, it's goofy. It's fun. So, but yeah, BTE definitely gets a little too in the weeds sometimes, but that's what they do. I just hate when they bring any BTE shit onto the show. And they've actually been mentioning it a lot more recently than they did early on. And I'm like, please don't, just please don't. Because we don't need that intermingling of BTE on AEW. Same with what we'll talk about later with EVP.
Yep,
We'll
exactly.
get to that.
It breaks the wall too much. It breaks the fourth wall too much.
Yeah.
And you can't be invested in the damn story. So, anyway. You want to move on to Dynamite?
Yeah, Simon says Tornado DDT is the most protected move in AEW history, which is that's a playoff, the Fuego del Sol.
Yes.
That's another thing. They talk about how he's gonna win with the, Tornado DDT. All right, so on to Dynamite. Man, we've been fucking scattershotting this, huh? All right. We didn't have much to talk about for this early shit, but we got a lot out, huh? Some good conversation out of it.
So we start off right off the bat with Hangman Page and John Silver. Silver.
Silver.
So, this is going to tie in to what we were just talking about earlier. First of all, good match. Again, both of these guys are great in the ring. Silver obviously has a little bit more work to do in the ring than he does on the mic. But I still think overall, fun match. Especially quite the size difference between the two.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more impressive that they're able to, they have some good ring chemistry together. So, Page does win by pinfall, hits the Liger Bomb. And this is what we're talking about. So post-match, Dark Order comes out, and Evil Uno talks to Page about being with a very strong group, i.e. the Elite, for a while. Tried to leave. They did let him go. And he says, if that's not a cult, I don't know what is, which is pretty funny considering where he's coming from here.
Mm-hmm.
But he asks Page if he wants to join them. And if he does, then he and his friends are here for Page. And if he's interested, Page knows where to find them. So once again, we have another group asking another wrestler to join their group. And I hope this isn't a thing where we're going to get 6 weeks of this. It's going to be like Will Hobbs, and then all of a sudden Hangman Page is going to join. It's just like, oh, fuck. Here we go again. It is out of nowhere. You would not think that Hangman Page would be propositioned by the Dark Order.
Well, they did. They did it early on, though. When I think earlier this year they were doing that.
Oh, you know what? You're right. They did do it earlier this year.
Yeah, so they're just kind of bringing it back around.
Yeah.
I want to say it was pre-COVID. I could be wrong.
I think you're right. It was a while ago. You're right. It was a while ago that happened. But I mean, ever since then, Hangman Page has kind of been elevated as like this super baby face. So I think that's the difference. I think that you would be thinking, well, of all people they're going to ask, this is who they're asking.
Right, but he's also at a point where he's vulnerable. It's all about vulnerability for Colts. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Sure. While he's up there, he's also vulnerable. He just lost. His Kenny Omega's getting a shot. So who knows?
But yeah, I just feel like, do we have to have another one of this? Hey, join our group.
Right.
It's like Tony Khan's going through the script. Let's insert a, hey, join our group here, here, and here. Okay, go do it.
So my very first note for Dynamite is, obviously I put Hangman versus Silver, and I take my notes for the match underneath that. They reference BTE. They need to fucking stop.
Yep.
Just got done ending the miscellaneous, the dark section with that conversation. And my very first note for Dynamite is they reference BTE. Jesus fucking Christ.
First of all, there's part of the problem. It's too close to BET, and it's fucking confusing. They need a different moniker there.
Usually I'm on it, but for some reason I'm off today. Like I don't know why it's just not coming out. So anyway, stop referencing BT. Motherfucker, man.
You see? Just say behind the Elite.
Oh my God. Being the Elite, all right?
Being the Elite. Sorry, even I can't forget. Being the Elite.
You know what it is now I've fucked it up so many times today that it's just in my head that way.
Yeah.
It fucks everything up. So just stop. Just stop. Like you said, it's fucking hokey. The show is hokey. They don't need the hokey shit on AEW Dynamite or AEW's main product. They already have too much hokey shit as it is. Don't need fucking more, especially over the top crazy hokey shit. Not that some of the shit they do on the show isn't over the top hokey.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm with you. It was a great match. Both guys, they're both clean wrestlers. You know, like you said, they come out, Uno with the promo, blah, blah, blah. And if you're done, we're on to the next.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to jump in. But yeah, we get backstage. We got Kenny Omega talking with Alex Marvez about what happened with Jon Moxley getting ambushed. Omega says more things change, the more they stay the same. Last year he lost to Moxley, and since then Moxley's been on magazine covers, and it's the typical. It's a good story.
Yeah.
Basically, you were the man last year. I'm going to be the man this year, basically. Right. And he basically said that he's destined to be back on top. And Omega asked Moxley if he can leave the garbage wrestling at home for one night, which is funny.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty good promo, but the very end I would have just cut off totally. The whole my dad would have beat up your dad shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a little schoolyard silly.
Like, it was so over the top, useless, you know?
Yeah.
You had a pretty good promo, Kenny, and you just fucking ruined it.
Yeah.
With 3 seconds of words, you know what I mean?
It's like if he had ended the promo with, and sticks and stones can break my bones, but names, they'll never hurt me. And trying to make it sound like serious. It's like, no.
Paul,
but anyway.
Yeah, before we move there, Paul says, think this might lead to Paige versus Brodie. It could. It's a good option.
When Brodie comes back, I mean, that would actually be great because they're two big guys who both can move pretty well in the ring together. That would be pretty good.
Yeah. Simon says it's BTE. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So looks like Will Hobbs' new name is Powerhouse Hobbs. I like it.
I do like that.
I do. He comes out. He's fighting Lee Johnson. He does the walkout with the black towel cut out. Obviously, it's just a quick squash. He comes out with the orange and black. I couldn't tell if it was red and black, or orange and black. Would have been nice if it was just red and black. It was closer to red than orange, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looked like a mix actually. The two.
Right.
It looked like a darker red. I guess almost like a maroon. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm not good with my Crayola crayon colors to know what's
I'm
what.
not an artist.
Yeah.
Pulling out fucking paint. What it was, fucking paint chips that tell you the colors and shit. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's good to just make him orange and black. I think it's kind of like overkill. I wouldn't mind him with the red and black because I think he was wearing red a lot prior to Team Taz.
He was.
Yeah. So maybe it was red. My eyes just were like, is that like a deep orange or is that a red? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Or if you're not listening, or if you're not live with us now, send me an email. What do you think? Or if you're watching this later on YouTube, put it in the comments. What did you think? Was it orange and black or red and black?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was almost red and black. How's that?
Almost red sounds good.
There you go. So they get a quick squash and then take it away, man. Take away after this quick squash match.
Well, we get Taz out here, and you and I were talking a little bit about this offline before we started. Taz is getting very passionate about the FTW championship. He basically wants AEW to acknowledge what it is, that it means something, and he's not going to leave the ring until somebody from management tells him why that is.
It's got a little long for me.
Yeah, got a little long, a little tedious. His mic
it
getting
was
cut,
good.
which was stupid. The mic getting cut thing is stupid.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind it. No, I liked it. I felt like
it was a little bit too CM Punk.
Yeah, I didn't like I just felt like he kept going around and around about I'm not leaving the ring, but I guess that's part of it. So
yeah. So anyway, you're hoping that when he says "quote unquote" someone from management, that someone from actual management who maybe is not necessarily a wrestler is going to come out. But no,
God forbid,
we get Cody Rhodes in his suit variation outfit.
Which is fine if he comes out with a suit, but here comes Cody Rhodes with the headset. Cody Rhodes, I'm the EVP. Cody Rhodes, I'm the guy behind the boards.
Right.
I'm at the
He's like,
gorilla
well,
position.
I'm someone from management.
Yeah. Like,
and
fucking Christ, man.
We were saying offline that it's like they gotta come up with if Tony Khan doesn't want to do this, if Tony Khan doesn't want to be Vince McMahon, fine.
Yeah.
Get an on-screen general manager.
You need an on-screen person as the fucking head of the organization. If TK doesn't want to be on camera, he doesn't want an on-camera role, then he needs to find someone who's gonna fucking fill that role. I do not want like this whole EVP shit, Kenny, the Bucks, Cody. I don't want Brandy. I don't want to hear what VP you are. Branding VP, EVP. I don't want to hear it. You're not management. I want you as a wrestler. That's it. That's why if TK don't want to be on if he doesn't want to be on camera and want to have an on-screen role, then he needs to get someone in that role to play that role. Because Cody can't be the one coming out and fucking doing this. Because it's just it's just fucking unreal to me. It's unbelievable. Like you said, it's breaking the fourth wall. I can't be thinking, gee, why is Cody the champ? Oh, it's just because he's an EVP. Okay, yes, a lot of people know this, but there's casual fans that you don't want casual fans to think this type of shit. You know? It's just more annoying as a person who understands a little, not just casual, you know. It just annoys the fuck out of me. I don't know.
Well, it makes you care less about when Cody actually wrestles or when Brandy actually wrestles, because you're thinking to yourself, they're executives of the company. What are they doing in the ring? Like, if I'm an executive at a company, okay, sort of like, when you work for a company, right? And you're, let's say, management, and you have a company contest, like a draw of some sort, where you have to draw a winner or whatever. And you know how normally you'll have that? It'll be like, well, executives of the company can't be involved.
Right. There's a fucking reason.
There's a fucking reason for that. So you're having a contest. You're having a weekly contest.
Cody's like, fuck it. I'm joining anyway.
I'm going to join in. I'm going to put on my trunks and I'm going to join in. And so is my wife. And we're both going to do.
So are the Bucks and Kenny. Right. TK's never going to be fucking seen from.
Right.
Maybe you hear his voice on camera.
So it just, it takes away from it a lot. It really does. I mean, back in the day, well, certainly, like, you would have, like, other promotions, WWE, TNA, they would have, WCW even, they would have, on-screen presidents and whatnot, who every now and then would get in the ring.
Bill Watts was for WCW after he sold the company, fucking Jack Tunney, when Tunney was bought out by McMahon, shit like that, man. That's what they need. Obviously Bischoff became that guy. So that's what you need. Even if you're not the guy, you have to be the guy,
Exactly. So it's tiring that he's always constantly getting involved in that role, and he's just throwing it out there that he's in that role.
It's annoying. It's just fucking. It really fucking wears on my nerves. It really does. Yeah. It's like the BTE shit and the EVP shit. Oh my god, I just want to fucking bang my head against the wall.
Yeah.
Let's go to the chat real quick about this. So Simon liked the Taz segment, Taz and Cody segment. Says it was superb. Simon also says Arn Anderson would have been a decent GM. Yeah, probably. Paul says never gonna see TK on camera, Tony Khan on camera. And Paul also says Bischoff has nothing to do, been on Dynamite twice. A lot of people say fuck Bischoff, blah blah blah. But if he's just an on-air talent, I wouldn't hate it. But
I wouldn't either.
But does he want to be on-air talent all the time? Does he want to be there every week? But does he need to be there every week? It's almost like when you need an on-air, president or whatever the fuck you want to, vice president, whatever, or CEO, then you bring him in. So maybe he has to travel fucking 10 times a year, Might be something he's worth his time. So I wouldn't mind Bischoff. I like Bischoff.
Yeah. And I'm sure he'd want to do it. I mean, he obviously was very disappointed when he was let go at WWE. He really wanted to give his all to that role. If he enjoys that role and they have a need for that role, and for fuck's sake, they have a need for that role, apparently,
fuck yeah,
put him in it. And you could even have Cody do a segment where he basically says, I want to focus more on wrestling. I am going to elevate Eric Bischoff. He's going to be the one in charge. I want to be more competitive.
No.
Because I figure you do that and you close the book on this.
No, fuck closing the book. Just don't mention it ever again. Then
right.
you got
but
the fucking... Yeah, but you just stop mentioning it. That's it.
Right.
You got these fucking announcers mentioning it. Just stop mentioning it. That's it. They just stop mentioning other shit. Where's Mel? Where's Mel been? Where's Mel? I fucking love Mel. Where is she?
Yeah.
Where's Mel? They just stopped mentioning it.
Yeah.
Nightmare Family. Whatever the fuck the lady thing was. What happened to it? They just stopped mentioning it. Brandy decided she's crazy. She's not crazy anymore. That's it. You just move the fuck on, man. People will forget. And if they don't forget, it'll just be a fucking, far distant memory.
So, anyway.
Paul says, give me a 1 day a week gig. Fuck yeah.
By the way, that was a good opportunity to have the Flames.
Yeah, nah, it's too quick. Too quick to throw on Flames and pull them off. That was in the spur of the moment, man.
All right.
That wasn't a lead up. That was a lot of times we know when we're gonna fucking flame out.
Well, flame on.
Flame on, right? Get the flames.
Get the flames.
Simon says, wasn't there a time in WCW where they talked about the network being the authority figure? I don't recall that. Maybe, possibly.
I actually do recall that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was more during the... Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Kind of like an unseen figure. They just kept bringing up the network.
Yeah, you know me, man. I don't remember fucking what I ate for dinner. And I haven't even eaten it yet. No, all right. So let's get back to the show. So we get Kingston promo about Death Triangle. Was good, and then Mox comes in, confronts Kingston, doesn't say anything. Kingston says, I got my own shit going on. It wasn't me. You know who it was. Basically, pretty much saying, wasn't me. You know who it was. Probably going to be Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
We think the same thing, obviously. I have a feeling it could be maybe Hangman, but who knows? We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week where I think I had mentioned Hangman. You thought, well, Hangman's being built up too much to be a babyface. But now that I think about it too even more, it's like I wonder because, I don't know, it will be way too predictable if it's Kenny.
Yeah. But
it can't be Kenny.
Wrestling's predictable anyway. I mean, people always say, oh, it's the same shit. I mean, that's wrestling, man. It's always going to be the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the business. There's only so much. It's like anything. TV, it's over and over again. Movies, it's over and over again. There's the ability and amount of original shit you can come up with anymore is so minuscule that it's usually going to be the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Just depends on what kind of twist you put on it. So then we get Top Flight versus TH2. For me, the match was too much. Dante missed a spot and ran to get caught back up to speed as Evans was about to do a springboard backwards off the top rope. I don't know if you caught that. Like, he hopped up on the ropes and Dante was like all the way on the other side. He just ran up, stopped, and took the move. It was,
It was messy.
Yeah, too much. I think Top Flight has a lot of talent. I'm not a TH2 fan. I know a lot of people I see on social media love them. I am not a TH2 fan.
I'm not either. They're very run-of-the-mill. I mean, I don't really see anything special about them that makes them stand out amongst the other myriad of teams.
I think Angelico does way too many cutesy shit. It's
like,
it's almost like it's almost the reverse of the flippy shit. You know what I mean? It's like, we want the ground shit, but you're like way too cute with the ground shit, you know? So it's just it's like a reverse fucking psychology thing for me. Then TH2 attack Top Flight after the match, and the Bucks come out to make the save. This is again the Bucks having to fucking insert themselves into getting over a young team, which I don't know. It's like I can respect that they want to put their rub on them, but it's almost like, bro, they're like 2021. Let them fucking build their shit. Put the rub on them later. You know, it's the same with Private Party and Matt Hardy. It's like, you know, you're just trying to put a rub on them. You know, like, leave them alone, bro. Like like you guys got to get your own shit over, because you're really losing me as the Bucks. I mean, I went from like. I went from like, yeah, the Bucks are good. I like them. I don't hate them. I think they're pretty decent. I didn't think they're fucking amazing like a lot of people did. But I also didn't think they were total shit like a lot of people did either. But they're really turning me. They've been really just turning me off to them for a while now. And it's like, get your own shit over instead of worrying about these kids, and putting some rub on them. You know.
I agree.
But whatever. Either way, they put the rub on them again with the save. So. What's next?
Rubbing.
Yeah, well, I like rubbing.
Well, next we get Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero talking about, nepotism. We were just talking about that. That's so funny.
Nepotism.
Guerrero says the practice of that sounds a lot like what Randy Rose does for members of the roster, like Big Swole and Red Velvet, which is weird because it's like, well, they're not related. So the fuck you talking about?
Yeah,
that's not really knowing what nepotism means, but
yeah, I mean, it's the same idea. Yeah,
it's the same idea, but nepotism is very specific.
Right.
So anyway, sorry, you know me with words. I'm very particular about it.
I know a lot of big words. You get annoyed when they're not used right. Oh, man.
Yeah, we should talk about schlep one day. And then Vicky says that Rose and Jade Cargill do what they want on their own, and it looks like Brandy's business plan isn't working out after she got she arm stomped out by Cargill. So I guess that they're leaning towards maybe like a tag team of the two of them. I think that what we were saying before was probably the plan, to have that mixed tag match. It probably was going to be Cody and Shaq versus
Right.
Jade and Brandy, but now that Brandy got hurt, maybe they are pivoting a little bit here, and they're perhaps possibly going to have a tag team of Jade and Nyla, in which case that actually might work. That might work. The two of them together could be scary. The problem is that, when you really think about it, let's say they put a team like that together, I can't think of any women's division team that could stand up to them.
Right.
That's the problem. You don't really have anybody who can compete with them. So, but that brings us over to FTR. So they're talking about their loss to the Young Bucks, and Wheeler says he doesn't know, he doesn't think that, how good others thought the match was, but he felt it was one of the worst nights that he's had. And Harwood said that the Young Bucks were better than FTR for about 3 seconds. It doesn't mean it's the best team in the world.
Right.
And Tully Blanchard says, well, it's their destiny to win back the titles, and the Young Bucks should fear the revelation.
Okay. Let's go back to the chat real quick.
All right.
Kenny said something interesting. Kenny says it will be to set up Mox next feud after Kenny, whoever it is, who attacked Moxley. So I just kind of want to touch on that because I was thinking about this before. I ran into an old friend I used to work with at Target while I was leaving. He works there, and he's my friend Sal's brother. We were talking, and he was like, he thinks Kenny's gonna win the title, and I said, I don't think. I just thought about it. I was like, I don't think he's gonna win. Yeah, he's a wrestling fan, obviously. So I said, I don't think that Kenny's gonna win the title necessarily next week. I think maybe they might take this and build it into the pay-per-view, because it's almost like, I know I've been back and forth. Like, I felt like there was good build and enough build for Kenny to take the title, but I also feel like it might be too spur of the moment, where it's a good set-off point for the pay-per-view in February.
That makes a lot of sense from a story standpoint. The only thing that sticks out to me is, and I know you and I discussed this last week, the fact that, Renee is pregnant, and I still do wonder if Moxley is going to want to just close this out, go home during this pandemic, not have the chance getting sick or even exposing his wife and the baby.
Right.
I do agree with you that it makes more sense from a story standpoint to build this further because, yes, there's now an extra wrinkle. There's an extra wrinkle to this now that there's somebody who's been attacking him. If that wasn't an angle to the story, then I would still stick true to my hypothesis. But I also do wonder if now that they're doing this, maybe they're building it a little bit further. So maybe they'll let this go until the pay-per-view. When's the pay-per-view exactly?
I think it's like February 20.
Is it February? I mean, that's a while away, man. That's a while away.
It's like 3 months.
3 months is a lot.
Right.
That's a lot of Wednesdays. I mean, how much are they really going to stick this out? So I don't know. I am still, and when it comes time to doing, well, I'm going to say time to do predictions. It'll be after this match. We're doing our predictions now. I'm actually predicting Kenny is going to take the title because I do think that that's what they're going to do with Moxley. I could be wrong. I just feel like it makes the most sense. Just from a life standpoint, it makes the most sense. But we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Let's see. Simon says, seems like the Shaq may not be happening as he wasn't mentioned and hasn't even sent in a video. Yeah, I was just going to say that too. I don't know what's going on with Shaq. And
I'm glad that was brought up because I had that in my notes as well for later on. It's like, well, this sounds like Mike Tyson all over again.
Right.
They bring Tyson in, they build this thing up. You think they're going to have Tyson versus Jericho, and Tyson disappears.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
The Shaq thing was what, 3 Dynamites ago at this point?
Dude, was it that long ago? I think it was 2. I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, if not.
That's right.
Wait.
No.
Yeah, because last week was when Jade injured Brandy. The week before.
So 3 weeks
No,
ago.
it was 2 weeks. It was 3 weeks? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Jade,
feels like it was a lot shorter than that.
Jade didn't injure her this past week, the week prior, and the week prior to that was her promo.
Okay.
So,
okay.
3 Dynamites now. No more Shaq information. They fucked it up to begin with on the show, live. Shaq should have been there or had a fucking video or something. They didn't. Anyway, whatever. Who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? Now we got Cody and Taz fucking going at it about, Taz's son, blah, 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 this, that. That's something we missed. How he's like, oh, why's your son training with me then at the Nightmare Factory?
Oh, yeah.
So. But anyway.
By the way, Simon, the way you spelled Shaq, it makes me want Shake Shack now. Now I want hamburgers.
Shake Shack. Paul says the only way they extend Moxley Omega is a 60-minute draw or a person who attacked Moxley causes a DQ, which AEW never does. Yeah, I mean, they could extend it that way, but I think like Alan said, I think that's like just a rough estimate. That's 12. That's 12 Dynamites in between to keep that story alive. That's it's a little rough.
I mean, it is possible that they simply decide that they're not going to be aiming toward the pay-per-view. They're just aiming to fill up shows. So maybe they do extend it for a few more shows with whoever's involved. That they could do.
Oh, what's up, James? We got a new guy in the chat, James Slattery.
What's up, James?
Thanks for joining us, brother. Appreciate it. Us guys from the Simon says us guys from the UK has no idea how Shaq is spelt. LOL.
And I'm laughing at spelt as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
it's SHAQ, as in Shaquille. But I like your spelling better because again, it reminds me of hamburgers.
James asked, "Are Pentagon and Ray doing a rematch?" No, they did it. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it's 2 weeks ago.
I think that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then Pac came back, and Pentagon came out and saved Phoenix and Pac from a beating. They get that little cliffhanger if you thought he might attack Phoenix with the chair and Pac, but he didn't. So the Death Triangle's back together. All right, so let's go SCU versus Hager and Jericho.
Oh.
No? You got nothing
well,
on it?
I don't have too much on this.
Me neither. I have very short.
I really don't have much on this at
Okay.
all. It was
So
a decent match.
it was a good match. It was a good match by
It was a
everyone.
good match.
Yeah.
I just didn't get much out of it again with the. I don't really like so much Chris Jericho in tag team matches. I'm realizing. I feel like I not I mean,
I liked him with Sammy. I like Les Sex Gods. I did.
Sex Gods. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a good fit.
All right, fair enough.
All right. So anyway, I thought it was a good match by everybody in it. Then at the end, you get MJF proves himself. So this is MJF's first real foray with Inner Circle, and he proves himself. So that's gonna be, that's kind of ingratiating himself with the rest of the team. A couple of guys fucked up outside and didn't do their part. Puts on the diamond ring, pop, end of the match, gives them the win. Gives Inner Circle the win. So that was well played. And then they attack SCU after this match, and Scorpio comes out and makes a save, of course, because that's still his boys. So
yep.
That was pretty much it. I didn't have much on that match either,
I really didn't. I mean, this is, they're obviously going for the long game with this thing with MJF. I could see them playing with this until February for sure. Oh, yeah,
for sure. There's plenty of work in there.
Yeah, there's a lot they could do, and we're probably looking at MJF versus Jericho in February. But, yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes. I like that this wasn't, we were able to avoid some silly this week, which is great.
Right.
I have expected a Broadway musical to break out during this.
The fucking mess after this match. The Miro and Kip, they're doing some shit in the trailer.
Was awful.
And
I
honestly
almost forgot about this thing because it was so bad.
Yeah, what's up, Alex? Good to see you, bro.
What's up, Alex?
Yeah, bro. The fucking Miro and Kip, they're doing some shit in the trailer. Some video game nonsense, setting it up.
The Miro and Kip video game extravaganza.
Was that okay? And then Orange pops up, basically lures them out of the trailer, and then they get into this fucking brawl that looks stupid. It looked awful and trash. That's what I wrote with a lot of H's. Trash.
Yeah. With
a lot of H's. Was not good, man. I couldn't get behind it. This Miro shit is really, it's disappointing me, man. Because, I mean, how long have I been talking about Miro since he got released? Even before he got released. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I really wanted Miro bad, and very disappointed so far.
Yeah, they're misusing him. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you know what, man? I won't say they're misusing him. I think, did I say this to you? I feel like they're giving him too much leeway, and he's misusing himself because they're allowing him to. I think that, I don't know if I spoke to you about this or.
Yeah, you didn't talk to me about that, but I mean, it's an interesting hypothesis. I just wonder, I mean, does he have that much pull then to be able to dictate his own character?
All these guys can dictate what they want. Tony Khan's pretty free like that, it seems, from what I understand and what you read and you see. Tony Khan isn't forcing anything on you, but he's allowing you to do things. And I'm sure that they say, hey, don't do this, don't do that. But it's almost like Miro's, at this point, I feel like he wants this video game shit so bad. And he's just, like, Tony Khan might be, like, just not saying, listen. Tony Khan might need to step up and be like, listen, bro, we need to get you off of this shit. You need to be this way. I know you love the video game shit. We can maybe work it in a certain way, but we got to change the whole atmosphere of how we're doing it. Because right now, I don't know if he's a fucking beast, a fucking nerd, a fucking video game guy, like a Twitch guy. I don't know what is he a fucking. What are you, man? I can understand a fucking a beast who's into video games, because there's fucking guys in the UFC that they're like computer nerd guys and they're fucking better than tons of fucking fighters. Some of the best fighters in the world. Right. But it's like. I don't know. I just don't like. There's nothing to grab onto with him. He has moments where I'm like, I grabbed on, and then he fucking bucks me, and I'm like, fuck this, I'll tell you what, he'd be a really good fucking Bronco at the fucking, the rodeo.
Yeah, no doubt.
So he'll be he's one of those bulls that you can't hold on long enough because he's just fucking not, he's not giving you anything to grab onto,
Yeah.
Or when he does, it's very little. Fucking awful analogy, bro. Sorry about that. I took the long. I mean, it was a good analogy, but I just took the long way, and then when I fucking rounded it out, it just sounded awful. Ooh. My apologies to everybody listening and the guys in the chat. Oof, that was brutal. Anyway, so then we get a contract signing. Omega's waiting to come out. Mox attacks him in the tunnel, tosses him to the ring, plants him on the AEW title with the fucking DDT. I don't know why I had to say with the fucking DDT, with the DDT. Then he starts cutting a promo. So this is almost like, reverse. It's just he does it in a ring. It's not from behind or whatever. He thinks Omega did the attack, so he attacks Omega. Well, I guess it was from behind, just in the tunnel. So that right.
Well, it was kind of silly because
it wasn't in the back, I should say.
Right. I mean, Omega's obviously ready to do his entrance. He's standing still like this. It kind of was pretty stupid, just standing there. And the cleaner woman's just like this. All of a sudden, Moxley shows him from behind, starts beating him up. It was interesting. It just came off as a little silly with him just standing there like a statue. Like it literally looked like, because of the shadows, the silhouettes, it looked like Moxley was beating up a card out stand-up. A stand-up card.
Cardboard cutout.
Cardboard stand-up. Stand-out card up. There's a shirt. He was beating a stand-up card out.
Yeah. Yo, Kenny, podcast with the least research and the worst analogies.
Yes.
Oh, my God. So great. That's so good. So then after that, he's cutting a promo, and he said one of my favorite lines of all times from one of my favorite shows of all time, pretty much my favorite show of all time, and my favorite character of all time. He goes, "You come at the king, you best not miss." Now, this is from The Wire. This is from Omar. And, basically, I popped like a son of a bitch for this. Because, obviously, like I said, Omar was one of my favorite characters on that show. The Wire is my favorite show. Game of Thrones was close, but they fucked that all up. And I just enjoyed that he used that line. I don't know if you watched The Wire ever.
I watched a little. I've never been as into it as other people have. I do need to watch it. But yeah, that was a very good line. Good promo. Again, every time he speaks, it sounds great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's almost redundant. It's almost like fucking why do we even talk about it? Because unless you're gonna get specific with the Moxley promos, it's almost like, why even bother mentioning the Moxley promo? But you gotta kind of give him his props. But I'm just tired of going.
Give him props for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just tired of going like, it's Moxley. It's great. You just move. It's like, why fucking. Anyway, so
and obviously they had to use the the tagline: "Win, lose or draw, winter is coming." Yeah. So.
I mean, look, they tied two of my shows in together. It's probably 1 and 2 for me. A little Wire and a little Game of Thrones.
Yep.
So I like that. Simon says, I find the cleaner dancers really stupid. I kind of did at first, but now I'm kind of digging them. It's very...
What was really funny was she's doing her dance, and Moxley attacks, and she takes a quick look, and she continues to dance, and she takes a look, and then she runs away. I thought that was great.
Oh, man. For me, it's like, it's almost Japanese-esque, it is. The big, grandiose Japanese entrances and shit. So.
Yeah, it is actually.
So I kind of dig it. I'm kind of with it. So, all right, next up we get a really, really good video package for Shida and Anna Jay. And as I spoke about earlier, you get more Shida talking,
Actually, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing happened before that.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, my bad. So
backstage at Inner Circle talking with Marbez, and MJF was saying he was so pissed about Frankie sucker punching him earlier in the evening.
Okay.
And Jericho says, there's no more fun and games. We're going back to beating up everybody on the roster. And so for the first time ever, it's going to be Frankie Kazarian versus Chris Jericho at next week's show.
All right.
So
I do remember them saying that match was going to happen, but I, for some reason, didn't take the notes on it. So anyway, great video. Like I said, great video package for Shida and Anna Jay. More Shida talking, which is we love. I mean, I do. I don't know about you. I love it.
Absolutely.
Every fucking time she talks, I'm like, fucking doing cartwheels because I'm just like, that's exactly. It's just gonna help her character.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so glad they don't shy away from it. I've said it a million times. WWE probably shy away from that because she doesn't speak clean English. So I like that they don't shy away from that. So then obviously this leads into Shida versus Anna Jay. Good match. Tay didn't want to give the chair to Anna Jay. Ty Conti. Anna Jay asked for the chair. Ty didn't want to give it to her. Both ladies did great. Little bit of telegraphing going on, but for the women's division currently wasn't so bad. Yeah, it's almost like where do you put the blame?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the worst match considering other matches that we've seen with the women.
Right.
I thought that as telegraphed as it looked, it was still pretty decent. It was fun. Anna Jay is definitely getting better in the ring more and more as far as ring work goes. She's already great with the character. And obviously they are teasing now the little shift with her and Ty. Ty doesn't want to cheat.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I thought it was a good match.
And Sheeta's always usually in the best women's matches for the most part.
She is. And she brings the best out of other people too. So Anna Jay had that to go on as well as that, obviously Sheeta brought the best out of her in the match too. So yeah.
Then we get a little twist at the end, which Sheeta's leaving with the title, and then Abaddon's music hits, and she comes crawling out, dribbling fucking fake blood and shit. And Sheeta drops the title. You don't see her drop the title. She drops the title and slinks away or whatever you want to, cowers back, and Abaddon picks up the title, licks it, which is okay, interesting. And I get the character. I'm just fucking around, but here's the deal. I like the Abaddon thing. She's really into the character. I just don't know how good of a wrestler she is, and I'm not sure that right now is a position for her to be in, especially when you have, like we said, Allie, who can wrestle and wrestle well as a heel.
Yeah.
And you have Shida, who wrestles well and wrestles well as a babyface, and you're just missing the boat on it. I don't know how many times we're going to say you're missing the boat, but basically that's my opinion. They're missing the boat on Allie.
Yeah, and Abaddon also, I mean, she's been out for a while. Remember,
right, she hasn't even been around, right.
She hasn't been around. She got hurt. I was surprised to see her because I thought from what it sounded like that she was going to be out for a lot longer. It's only been a few weeks. So I'm glad to see that she's back, and she is a great character, but I agree that, to just throw her into the title picture now is...
Right.
Right. You've got enough, not necessarily enough, but you do have a number of talent on that roster who should be in that spot. And Allie probably is the number one person I could think of who should be in that spot at this point.
I'm really just baffled on the whole Allie thing. I don't know where the fuck... I just don't understand the disconnect. I mean, you fucking pull her in out of what she was doing to give Brandy her fucking little side project, because God forbid Brandy doesn't have her side project, and Brandy wants Allie to be in her side project, so we'll give Brandy Allie and pull her out of a fucking whole thing and not explain it until later on, and when everything implodes and everybody's tired of it. So for me, it's like, what are they dropping? Where are they dropping the ball with Allie? Why? What the fuck is the issue? I can't figure it out. I can't even wrap my fucking brain around it.
I can't either. And she, and again, I don't know if there's anything going on with her personally. I mean, I follow her on Instagram. She definitely doesn't post as much as she used to. So I don't know if she's got stuff going on, but she's obviously she's around. She's
there every week.
She's with Butcher and Blade. She's with them every week. She's there. I don't know if maybe she's either possibly hurt or something else is happening where she is not wrestling And that's the only thing I could possibly think of is that maybe she got injured. I don't know. And maybe it's not injury that really shows itself so much. But yeah, it's very, very baffling as to why they're not taking advantage of what they have with her. I just don't get it.
Yeah, frustrating. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny, we got Butcher and the Blade versus Pac and Phoenix. For me, it was a great match. The ending, I loved it. The fucked finish, I thought it was done well. Flawlessly, matter of fact. Bunny distracts the ref, who's Remsburg, who usually fucks up distractions.
Yes.
Remsburg is the one that always fucks up distractions. Like, he's like, hey, I see the distraction, but I'm going to act like I don't, you know? But this time he stayed distracted long enough to miss Kingston run in. Tosses Phoenix off the top. Butcher tosses Pac around outside, and then lays waste to Penta, who was coming to Pac's aid. Then Butcher and the Blade double team Phoenix for the W. Fucking well executed is my notes. I thought it was done well. I love the finish. The finish there was a lot of moving parts, and every part moved succinctly and was well oiled. You know, which a lot of times in AEW matches where there's a lot of moving parts, things get a little rickety, you know?
Yep.
Could have used a little extra grease here or there, especially, like I said, Remsburg. You know, he tends to not, you know, he tends to not miss what he should miss, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of good choreography going on here. Just pretty, yeah, it was a pretty match from start to finish.
Yeah. Simon says Butcher and the Blade has recovered from a really poor start to their AEW career. They're looking really good these days. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people shit on them, you know. Why are they in white? Why are they in, you know, I don't know. People just look for shit like that, you know, in terms of their get-ups, you know. Oh, they're black. Now why are they wearing the white? It's like, bro, that's their street gear.
Yeah.
You know, they have a look. Like what did we say it was? Late 1800s, early 1900s, yes. Some shit like that, you know? Some like Gangs of New York shit, you know? Like they got the Gangs of New York look, you know? So we get Kingston and the crew attack that triangle. Then Archer comes out, and this is where they start brawling all over. This is where Kingston and Archer kind of intersect again. They have unfinished business since the Battle Royal, so I like this. I think it gives Kingston a good feud. It gives Archer something to do, since Archer seems to be fucking floundering and just doing promos constantly. I like it. They're both free. Why not? And honestly, I'm going to ask you this because I kind of thought about this at the end of the show. Do you think Archer... I think Archer would be a fucking great babyface, too.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw this segment. I'm thinking to myself, especially after that Jake Roberts promo, you could construe it as it was a promo of a heel, but also, no, it could work as a promo of a babyface. Right. And now that we saw this segment here, that's exactly what I thought, is that, okay, they're setting Lance Archer up to be this monster babyface. They're going to have him all sort of like an anti-hero, you know, with Jake Roberts. Because Jake Roberts has always been the ultimate anti-hero. He started out as a heel. He became a babyface, but even when he was a babyface, he was like an anti-hero babyface.
Like Mox, right.
Like Mox, like Austin was. And yeah, exactly. So I kind of felt like after seeing this, that's the direction they want to go with him. And if so, that works. If you're going to turn Lance Archer into this anti-hero, babyface, kick-ass personality, I think that could work. And I think that having Kingston and Archer in a program works really well. That could be a damn good match.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So yeah, I like it, and I do. Yeah, you and I are thinking the same thing, that is probably where they are going with him. And I guess this is again one of those few instances where they actually tied into something from Dark that was important, that something on Dark was important. That, you know, they had that promo on Dark before this happened here.
Right.
And that promo on Dark was so almost like him giving notice as to what he's going to be doing. and then he executes it at the end of the show here.
Right.
So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it would be interesting with Archer as a babyface.
Absolutely.
We'll see. I don't. I wonder if they're kind of leaning that way. And when it's all said and done.
I mean, I think they are. I think it's. I honestly thought that this segment made it obvious. You've got Archer, standing up to looking at the family on the top rope, join with them at the end of the show. It's like, yeah, that I can't see what else they're really doing with him. I think that is. I think this was essentially a babyface turn for him. What they did here.
I don't know, because you could go heel versus heel. You
could, but he wasn't coming across. Okay. Normally when you have a segment end like this, where you've got one guy standing on the top turnbuckle or the second turnbuckle, jawing away at heels on the ground, whatever, that isn't a heel move to me. That's a baby face move. I've never seen a heel stand on the top turnbuckle, pointing down to somebody, talking to them, jawing with them. I mean, Savage, sure, but not in this kind of fashion.
Right.
This felt like a babyface move to me.
Okay.
In terms of how the show went off the air.
I'm with it. I mean, I don't see anything else for him right now, so why not?
Exactly. Why not?
And it's funny because I wasn't even thinking that it was a turn for him, but in my mind, like I said on my notes, it just, my note, anybody think that Archer would possibly be a great babyface also,
Yeah.
That was my note. And it was, it was just basically... Looking at him, I'm like, he while he's a monster heel, like I'm like his face isn't a face that you're like fuck that guy, like he also he's also like could have a softer vibe to him as well,
Right. Exactly.
And I don't mean a derogatory way, like where he looks weak or anything, but he just can go both ways in terms of heel or face, in my opinion. So
exactly, I agree. Yeah. He's the strongest characters, ones that work either way, and he can work either way. So it'll be interesting to see Jake Roberts, I guess, in that role in terms of he's been a total dick since he came on the show, and now he's essentially going to be a babyface manager. But
or is that how they work Jake out?
Yeah, or that's true. That's true. Maybe Jake aligns himself with Kingston.
Yeah.
Maybe Jake turns on Archer and aligns himself with Kingston.
The problem is you got two heavy promo guys there, so it's almost like. Paul says.
Well, that's true. That's true. Archer kind of does need Jake a bit as a mentor there. Yeah, that's a good point.
He doesn't.
Well,
Archer. Oh, I'm sorry, Archer. I thought
Archer.
I was thinking Kingston. Right.
No, yeah. Kingston certainly doesn't.
Right.
Kingston is fine on his own, but
Jake could always work with Archer in the back scene, in the back, behind the scenes. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Paul says AEW always blurs the lines of the face heel thing. Yeah, to a degree. I think they have some pretty defined heels faces, but they do blur it with a couple guys. But that's actually that's like a thing now anyway. The in-betweeners, like Moxley. So.
Yeah. The problem is if you have too many in-betweeners, though. Like, you don't want too many of them.
You don't want too many.
Then, yeah.
And it's not... Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you blur the lines too much with too many guys, then you're having trouble getting the audience to root for anybody. It's like, who was it that's always said, heel versus heel and face versus face, they just don't draw money.
Right.
You need to care about... I think, I'll believe it, I can't believe I'm going to say it. I think it was Cornette who said that. I guess I'm Cornette Jr. again this week. But you know what? He has a good point. You need to draw money, and you draw money by having the crowd invested in a character who they see as being on their side. It's very difficult to do that if it's heel versus heel, and even face versus face is very tough to do as well.
I'm trying to think. Was there before the mid to late 90s? Was there ever a man, this may sound stupid, but like I said, my brain doesn't remember shit. So I'm trying hard to think. Was there characters that were like Mox, where they were in between? They were not even in between, because honestly, Mox is a face. He's just a face that's willing to get dirty.
Yeah.
You know, so
I can't remember. I mean, you'll speak better to WCW than I would. I know with WWF, Jake Roberts or I guess Savage even. The problem with Savage is when Savage went babyface, he went babyface. When Roberts went babyface, he still maintained that anti-hero personality. So I
okay,
almost feel like Roberts is the first of that WWF era who
right,
kind of did that. He went face, but he still maintained his assholery
right,
persona. You know what I mean?
okay.
WCW, you would speak better to that than I would. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I feel like all the early '90s baby faces in WCW were heavy baby faces.
We're super baby faces, right? Right.
Dustin,
And with
Barry,
WWF, outside of Roberts, that was just like a one-shot deal until
right,
Austin came along. Austin was the first
right.
guy.
Pillman, Austin. Well,
Or
Pillman was he was
Pillman,
a
no,
heel.
Pillman,
Yeah, he was
yeah,
straight
Pillman
heel.
was
Yeah.
total heel. But
Yeah, but Austin. I'm trying to think.
Austin's probably the
ECW
first.
though. ECW probably had some. And I have to think about it. But
Okay, all
ECW
right.
probably had some in between. I mean, a lot of their guys probably in between. Like
Well, the
Dreamer.
nature of the promotion was so different. That's the
Right.
thing.
Maybe honestly it mostly started in ECW, man, to be honest with you.
Maybe.
You know?
Oh, you know what? You know who else? Believe it or not, Taker, to some degree. Taker eventually went full babyface, but he did have a period where when he kind of did go babyface, he was still very dark, and they still kept that character dark, and so he kind of rode the edge a little bit. So it might have to be Taker.
Yeah, but when was Taker?
That was around the time when
What
it was
year?
around the time of Roberts, actually, believe it or not, because that was like one
Early
of Roberts'
90s.
last heel matches was against Savage, and that's where Taker turned face. I don't know if do you remember? Did you watch Saturday Night's Main Event? Very memorable.
Not much.
You know, Macho Man defeats Jake Roberts. He and Elizabeth are going to the back, and they cut the show, but they show a post-credit thing. It's like one of the first ever post-credit sequences. And walk to the back, and you see Jake Roberts in the back with a chair ready to hit. He's like, I don't care who comes through those curtains first.
I do
I'm
remember
going to
that.
slam him. And you're like Vince McMahon is like shot in the back. When somebody get back there, blah, blah, blah. It was it was really tense. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Undertaker attacks Jake Roberts.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and so when he did that, that was him turning face. But he kind of rode that edge for a while until he went complete babyface. But the point is, it was definitely rare back then. It was very, very rare. I feel like Austin was kind of the pioneer for the official in-betweener, where he was the first one where he's officially an in-betweener guy.
See, Simon says Raven. He said for her, Joel.
Raven
and Disco Inferno. But Raven was a heel. But Raven was a heel in ECW. He was the heel role. Big Boss Man. Now, when Boss Man turned, he turned for. He was good. He was bad. Then he was good.
Yes.
You know, so he was. Yeah, I think you're right. That's why I said mid to late '90s, because that's where I remember all this type of in between shit happening. You know.
And I mean, 92 was the Taker turn to face, so that was earlier. That was earlier than mid 90s.
Like you said, I think these weren't formulaic. I think they were circumstance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, all right. I guess that's going to do it for today.
Yeah.
Right? I just want to shout out everybody in the chat. You know, of course, the Uncensored family. We love you guys. So, we got some new guys today, so I want to shout them out. Simon, Paul, and James. Shout out to you guys for joining us. As always, we got the regulars. You know, we got Kenny, the ambassador of the chat, the AEW Uncensored ambassador. We got Eddie came in for a bit. We got Alex. You know, if I missed you, I apologize. Let me scroll back. I don't think
we had Shake, but we were missing Bake, or did we have Bake but missing Shake?
I don't know. We had one of them, but not the other.
Who's Shake and who's Bake?
Yeah, I'll never remember, so who cares? But I don't think I miss anybody. But shout out to everybody who listens live. Shout out to everybody who's listening not live afterwards. So as always, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like button, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Share. Uncensoredalliance.com. You catch everything we do there, all the links, etc. Twitter, AEW Uncensored, one word. Email, AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Love mail, hate mail, whatever the fuck kind of mail, just send it to us. We want to hear from you. Facebook, AEW Uncensored Podcast. Search in the bar. We have a page and a group. So please like the page, join the group. Join us on Skype, link in the description of the podcast and the live stream on YouTube. So look for that link. Send me a message. I'll throw you in the chat. And third-party podcast apps you can find us on. Just search AEW Uncensored Podcast. We will pop up. And if you have specific apps for your podcast, Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeart Radio, find us there. And of course, last but not least, Apple iTunes. Please rate us. Write us a review. That's huge. That with Google are our two biggest outlets, and all the reviews from iTunes spread out to all these other podcast applications. So when people search us, they'll see the reviews on those, and all those reviews come from iTunes. So, again, we want to state that we're fucking taking over Germany, by the way. All right?
Yes.
We're like top 10 in Germany, so for wrestling podcasts. All right? So we're taking over Germany. Shout out to Germany. Fucking we love you guys. All right? Yes. We're taking over. We're taking over. So fucking Nolan Hash. We're taking over, okay?
Nolan Hash.
Forever. Hash. Forever. For life. So
for life.
Shout out to Germany for bringing us top 10 there. We love you guys. It's weird. I seen it this week. It was like the first time in Germany. I think we were like number 2 in like fucking Thailand at one point. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. Yeah, some like way to fuck out country that I don't know if it was Thailand really. Thailand's furthest thing I could think of. I'm trying to think like furthest, but yeah.
I'd love to hear how we sound translated in German.
Oh, that probably sounds awful. Achtung!
I mean, for number
Uncensored.
10, I'm very curious.
Yeah, we're the German NWO, Simon says. Oh man. Yeah, that's funny. I don't think it's translated though. I think they got to listen in English. Unless some
See, I don't know how that works actually.
No.
I'm not sure how that works.
I upload it like this and they have to listen to it like this. So anyway, shout out to the Germans and to the far off land where we were like number 2 for like a while. I don't even remember. Yeah. Seriously, I was so far, like the furthest fucking thing you could think of in the planet from where we are, that's where it was. But shout out to that. That was funny. I was like, I definitely got to tell you that we hit top 10 in Germany. So we need to be number 1 in Germany. So please, Germans, spread the word, get it out there. Where did I say we were? Did I say we were like number 8 or what? Well, I don't even fucking remember.
In Germany?
Yeah, I forget what I sent you.
I think you had said we were top 10.
That's it? God, I'm not descriptive at all, bro, huh?
Or were we exactly number 10? I guess I
Hold on. Like, we're supposed to be leaving and shit, but I don't care because I'm going to fucking look it up.
Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't do it in the personal chat. I think I did.
No, you did it in our TSG chat, so you'd have to really scroll because it's a lot of material.
Oh, well. I blew that.
I found it. Number 10. We were the number 10 podcast in Germany.
I was hoping I said top 10, but we were really number 3.
And I responded Jubiläen, and I don't know whether or not how you pronounce it, but that's a victory cheer in German. So.
Okay, we need Mike to translate.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm part. I got some German in me, but all I know is Achtung, and I only know that from fucking. What was that video game? The video game.
Oh
my God! With the Nazis. Doom. No, not Doom. It was like Doom. It was like Doom.
Shoot.
It's
not
like,
Resident Evil.
Nah, it's precursor to Doom, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I forget the fucking name, man. Simon says most Germans know English. What the fuck was that game? Now it's gonna piss me off. We're supposed to be leading out here, and we've completely
Well, if
just
you look
fucked
up
the end of the show
Nintendo
up.
games with Nazis, that's gonna get quite a list, I'm sure.
We might get blocked. YouTube might fucking block us. Just the fact we said
that's
Nazis. True. Oh my god. What the fuck was that? Oh my goodness. I'm picturing the cover and everything. Was it Doom? It wasn't Doom. Doom was more alien-esque, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Anyway. I don't know. We'll end it there because we're just going to fucking drag this out. You know it's going to fucking piss me off. I'm going to Google it and go, motherfucker! Right on the tip of my tongue. Wolfenstein. Yes. Simon.
Okay.
Simon says Wolfenstein. That was it.
Perfect.
Fuck, bro.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, I think that was pre-Doom. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they were reversed. But
I'm not sure when that came out, actually. Yeah, I'm kind of... that's not my era of video game history. I'm more Nintendo Entertainment System from the 80s to the early 90s.
Yeah, relax, bro. Me too. Calm down. But I did play beyond that, okay, pal? All right? Fucking nerd.
You played beyond that.
Nerd, you and your comics.
Yeah, man.
I'm just kidding. I love you. All right, shout out to the guys in the chat. We love you guys. Uncensored family for life. For life.
For life.
We're taking over Germany. Again, shout out to Germany. Can't shout you out enough, brother. Get us to number one, motherfuckers.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, fuck you, Hass. Yeah, get us to number one, Germany. Spread it to all your friends and family. But all right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Thanks, everybody. Peace.
Peace.